Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All of my viewers, who are probably nobody right now at this point. My name is Michael Sylvester. I'm going to be your host today of tonight's broadcast. And I haven't even come up with a name for my broadcast, but I've decided that I'm going to join in this movement of independent journalism that seems to have taken over everything. Um, I have a few things to say politically. I am a Democrat. I am deeply opposed to Donald Trump's regime, this whole movement, this MAGA movement that's coming over trying to take over the country. And I feel like I have the right to give out my 2 cents. It's not going to be a long broadcast tonight. I'm just practicing, really. This is just me putting out my 2 cents. But I want to say what has inspired me to start my YouTube channel and give some of my opinions and focus on the facts, the statistics, the factoids that you're going to find out there on what I base my opinion about, and then I'm gonna independently broadcast what I think about some things because there's been a huge movement amongst MAGA. First, it was Fox News, which does not qualify as news. It is literally legally classified as cable entertainment. It's not even cable news. And the fact that that propaganda machine, state sponsored television, all about the establishment and big money manipulating all the little people in the world. The problem that I noticed, in addition to Fox News, is the Manaverse and the YouTube channels and all of these other independent places where fringe groups could find a voice. And what you wind up happening is a whole bunch of really misguided buffoons just spouting, repeating over and over and over all of these strange, disconnected things that are really rooted and based and tied in ignorance. And that Manaverse got co opted by MAGA, Fox News, all these other different places, so that all of a sudden you had this one single message that somehow all of these strange Burge fringe groups coalesced around. And so all of a sudden you have a megaphone of all sorts of curated news that has been politicized and is being used to hijack and brainwash a massive group of people. And I noticed there was a counterculture that has finally started to come out amongst classical news networks and your more typical outlets and platforms for news because I've started to watch some of the left independent news stations, which have more of my views, which I agree with. People talking about the talking points that I want to hear about, and I avoided these things for quite a while because they seemed, well, it's my slant, So I'm not going to really watch those. But the more I watch those, because I just got sick of not having people talking about what I talk about or hearing what I have grown to believe and what I have ascertained to be true in the world. Major news outlets and very reputable journalists on all the way down the ranks have been entering this kind of manosphere independent media area. So you have like I've Had It, People News, you have the Midas Touch, you have Katie Fang, you have Jon Stewart, who also has his own personal little independent media broadcast, the Weekly Show, all these kind of different places. And I realized I feel like I can take part. I don't imagine I'll be anything like them or anything else, but I feel like I can give my 2 cents about things and include myself amongst all these people in the midst of all of this who do not agree with this racism and this sexism and this homophobia and all of this stuff that's just swirling around. And I have been inspired by these major news outlets and these independent broadcasters because they started to realize that sphere needs to be filled up as well with some sanity. And so you all have inspired me that I now have a YouTube station. I think I'm going to call it My Two Cents. Anyway, good evening and good luck.